right now we're going to join Mark Davis, who's graciously appeared to his first appearance actually on our broadcast. He is with WBAP in Dallas, Texas. And we really appreciate you, Mark, for coming today. There you are. I see you on Skype. Yay! You are just as handsome and lovely as I imagined you to be, because I listen to you on KSFO radio in San Francisco, and it is truly an honor to have you here today, Mark.
Melanie and Essie, thank you. It's great to be in your great company. It is fantastic to be on with Troopathon. And in fact, when the folks called me and asked my willingness to be a part of this, it was a complete no-brainer, because here in Texas, and you know, we don't have the market cornered on this, but we very, very much appreciate those troops, and anything that helps them out is okay by me. And so God bless all of y'all and this entire effort and this entire broadcast. And
the Texas Air National Guard are particularly of importance to you today.
They are, and if I got to, I'll tell a story and I'll make it brief. I want to show you a little something on the Skype technology. Right there is the medallion of the 2nd Battalion of the 149th Aviation Regiment, which is based in Grand Prairie, Texas, right between Dallas and Fort Worth. I got a call in 2008, because we're sort of the official talk show of the troops, we like to think, and we always have their backs. And a gentleman called and asked if I would like to speak at their deployment ceremony, to go to South Grand Prairie High School, as about 600 of them, and these are National Guard folks, okay, folks who are coming, men and women, coming out of their regular lives, regular jobs as teachers, lawyers, gardeners, mothers, and head off to Iraq and Afghanistan. That was another no-brainer, and I gladly went to that deployment ceremony. This was in June of 2008. A few months later, I learned that one of the helicopters on that mission had gone down on its way from Kuwait to Iraq, and that 7 of those magnificent soldiers that I spoke to had been lost. So when a year went by and I spoke to their return ceremony, an incredibly upbeat day of celebration, it did, however, have wrapped around it the poignancy and the unavoidable emotion of the 7 soldiers who could not be there in body, but were certainly there in spirit. In that year, I learned more than I ever expected to learn about the family support groups, about the ways in which our country does a really good job of getting behind our people in uniform, and maybe some of the ways in which we could do much, much better. So to learn of something like Troopathon and the things that this fundraising effort does to help folks like the men and women that I'm so proud to know here in Texas, I can't say enough about the urgency and the worthiness of exactly what you guys are doing.
You know, Mark, you just reminded me of one of the reasons, the primary reasons why I got involved in Troopathon and frankly co-founding Move America Forward back in 2004, 2005, is because of the attitude of the American people. When people were coming back, our troops were coming back from Vietnam, they were spat upon, our soldiers were derided and frankly made to look like lunatics for the better part of 30 years. And I was terrified that this was going to happen again to our troops as they started their deployment home. And it wasn't, because I live here in California, out on the left coast as we call it. I did not see a person ever thank a troop member until I flew into Atlanta Hartsfield. And that's when I saw that people were actually waiting to greet soldiers coming home. They would stop their ordinary lives in order to do this. And I said, we can't allow this to happen. I mean, we can't be regionalized in our support. We have to do this across the country.
Listen, I would like to think that at the San Francisco International Airport and, you know,
I'm sorry.
Pick another liberal city, I mean, that you could certainly find some effort like this. But it's funny you mention Atlanta, because right up the road from me at DFW, every day a plane load of troops comes in from somewhere, going somewhere, emptying out men and women who have come from Iraq or Kuwait or Afghanistan, headed out to maybe just a short bus ride through Texas, or maybe a connecting flight to Dayton, Ohio, or DeLand, Florida. And we have crowds, loud crowds every day, and I went up and did the show from there once. There were segments that I could not get through because I'm sitting there trying to take calls about the news of the day and let everybody know I was up there at DFW. At some point I just had to sort of shut the show down, take a wireless mic, and go over and share the magic as hundreds upon hundreds of folks had just interrupted their lives to come up to DFW and watch as a plane load of troops whom they did not know and they have never met, just to show them the love and appreciation they deserve. I know you join me in being thankful that, listen, there are people against the wars that we're currently in, but I think the days of calling people in uniform baby killer are largely over. And I'd like to think that that won't return, and that we should be in much better stead to treat these folks with respect. From your lips to God's ears.
Thank you, Mark. We appreciate you joining us on Skype today. Please say hello to all of your friends and family in Texas, in the Texas area. I know that you also broadcast nationally, and urge them, please, to go to Troopathon.org and make a contribution for one of these fabulous care packages.
I absolutely will. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, Mark. Mark Davis, ladies and gentlemen, WBAP in Dallas, Texas. He's a great guy.
Yeah, and we love it when members of the media use their ample platforms to help, you know, talk about a really good cause. And that airport story really reminds me, I mean, I travel all the time. I don't get to run into troops a lot on the streets of Manhattan where I live. But airports, I always see them, and it's always my opportunity. I go right up to them and I say, thank you. It's the best place to do it, because as Mark said, they're always coming in and out.
And some of them are shocked, actually, when you do that.
Oh, sure, because they don't get it every day.
They don't hear that appreciation. They don't feel it. They don't see it.
So airports, great place to thank your troops. Today, Troopathon, great place to thank the troops.